Hi, how you doing, and welcome back to the video on the channel. What we have for you today is our preview video going into game week 37, the final double game week of the season. We're also going to take a look at my review of game week 36 and how my team did, as well as transfer thoughts and team selections moving forward. If you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. The support has been brilliant all season long. Hopefully we can keep it going for that last couple of game weeks. Let's take a look at my team. So for game week 36, on paper, it looks pretty good. In terms of returning players and point scoring, everyone pretty much scored points. But there was only Porro, who I'd already put on the bench and came on because Fabian Schär is out for the rest of the season, Onana, who got 2 points for 6 saves, and Watkins, who blanked. Now, where I really fell down, and the reason I kind of got a 20k red arrow, is because I captained Isak over Haaland. Now, I was really unlucky with this, I feel like. And don't get me wrong, because I know I've had a load of good luck this season. You kind of can't get to a top 50k rank without having some luck along the way. But Isak missed a penalty that probably should have been retaken. And if he'd have scored that penalty, I would have not had points taken off him for missing. He would also have scored, and all those points would have been doubled, because he's my captain. And I would have got an assist for Anthony Gordon, which could have also led to a bonus point for him as well. 2 of Haaland's 4 goals were penalties, and one of them was nearly saved. And you just think like, oh, another week, it could have really paid off for me, this gamble. Everybody who captained Haaland, I would have outscored them with Isak. And it's just how it goes sometimes. And we get players in for penalties, and although both strikers got them, one missed, one scored, and that's just the way it is. I think what really cost me even more points was not having Nicholas Jackson at all. I think he got 16 points for Chelsea, which was an absolute nightmare. I think it took me from about 21k to 35k. So that, in terms of a drop, was a lot of a bigger impact because I actually had Haaland in my team. Didn't own Nicholas Jackson at all. And it's just a shame, really, because it has taken me a few days to be able to talk about it. Because when you're at a rank of 15k, you're thinking, oh, maybe top 10k, this is it, this is my chance. And then when it kind of gets like sort of brought back down to earth a little bit and you have a bit of a decrease in rank, you kind of got to reassess. Now, if you'd have told me at the start of the season that I would be 35k in the world with 2 weeks to go, I would have absolutely bitten your hand off. And if I'd gone from 50k to 35k in this last game week, I'd be thinking of a real push for the final couple of game weeks. So I've got to just change that mentality a little bit, stay positive like we have done all season, and really see how we can go. Now, in terms of aims for the team, I'm thinking my floor of a minimum sort of target would be top 50k. I would love to stay in the top 50k. Still might not happen. There's a lot of bench boosts active this game week. But I think if I can stay above top 50k, anything in that rank is kind of a bonus. If I had to really push for a ceiling, I'd love to get top 20k. But that's not always realistic, especially when so many players, like we say, are playing the bench boost and have a lot of double game week players as well, and you kind of all captaining the same player and you kind of got similar squads in. It's hard to increase that rank up again. But if I can go down 20k, in theory, I should be able to go back up 20k this game week. So let's take a look at the fixtures, and it looks like a pretty busy Saturday on paper. A lot of games being played, with a few games being played in the consecutive days afterwards. Now, we do have teams with double game weeks, and in terms of captaincy, you probably should captain Haaland. He's got 2 good games, Fulham and Spurs, both not the most consistent defences ever. But then, like what we're talking about before, it depends on your strategy. If you are thinking this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get this rank that I'm aiming for, I'm probably never going to have this opportunity again to be this highly ranked in FPL, and you want to go for a differential captain, then I think captain Isak. I know that he's kind of counted against me in the last game week, but that was a bit of luck, and he is playing well. Newcastle playing well, and Brighton and Man United, they're teams that you would like to think Newcastle would beat, especially Man United. All over the place defensively. Outside of Newcastle, I don't think you can go wrong with a Chelsea player as well. Maybe even Nicholas Jackson if you're feeling super risky. Now, they do have 2 away games, but those away games are not the worst in the world, and Chelsea are looking the most consistent they've looked all season. So whether it's Jackson or Palmer, I think either of those 2, or Isak, if you're not captaining Haaland, would be a really good option. So my team for this game week looks pretty good on paper, but lots of people's teams will, because there's double game weeks all over the place. We do currently have 10 double game week players. I have made a transfer as well. I've brought Guardiola in for Fabian Schär. Save some money there as well, so I think it leaves me a little bit to play with in the bank. I do have 1 free transfer remaining as well, but I'm quite happy with having Havertz playing Man United as a single game week player, I do think that he could potentially get a score that is better than a lot of double game week players. And I think for game week 38, it is good to have some transfer options because we can get a lot of team news just before the deadline that players aren't playing at all. So whether that is used to give me information of who to get in that I think would start, or whether it is to bolster the bench, because if a player's not starting, you do need maybe a bit of a deeper bench if you can for that final game week so that players will come in and score you points. I do think it's good to be flexible with that. I have set my team up quite well for this double game week, and whilst it does have Spurs players in it, Son's just scored, and I do think anything can happen in a game week like this. I probably am going to be captaining Haaland. I've done it all season, and then the one game you don't, he scores 4 goals. That's just how it is. But I have got lucky because I've also had Foden's 2 hat-tricks earlier in the season. So you just got to take the ups and the downs as it goes. But let me know what you think about my team. Do you think I should be getting in a different player instead of someone like Havertz, or downgrading sort of Watkins to Jackson? That could also be an option. But I'm at the stage now where I'm kind of thinking, my team looks quite good as it is. Do I just take the risks? And also let me know what you're doing as well. Are you bench boosting? If you are, go check out my bench boost video because it is 100% rated by Fantasy Football Hub. So go and check that video out. It should be on the link on the screen about now, and hopefully it will give you some good advice. So good luck in this game week. Any questions, pop them in the comments and I'll get back to you, and I will see you in the next one.